Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the October 22nd Board of Zoning Adjustment. First of all, I'd like to thank all city staff members who have prepared cases on your behalf. They work very hard for that. And also, I'd like to sincerely thank my fellow board members who volunteer their time every 2 weeks, come down and administer your cases. So thank you to them. In an unpaid position, we serve at the pleasure of our mayor. With that in mind, Sarah, please confirm that we've got everyone in order. Thank you. Explain the rules.
Well, good morning. I will describe the procedures for today's hybrid meeting. For everyone joining us online, please know that there are two categories of people participating in the meeting. This is a little weird today. Attendees and panelists. Right now, the only panelists are board members and city staff. If you are an applicant or a member of the public who is interested in a case, please use the raise hand function when the case is announced to let staff know that you would like to speak. There's a ribbon at the bottom of your Zoom screen with a hand icon. Please click this to raise your hand to request a promotion to panelist. You will need to accept the promotion in order to speak. It may appear temporarily as if you have been disconnected, but don't panic. You will reconnect shortly. If you are joining us via the Zoom app on a smartphone or computer, please change your screen name to reflect your legal name. If you are calling in on a phone line, you cannot adjust your screen name. It appears as your phone number. You can still provide testimony by raising your hand when the case is called by pressing star followed by the number 9. At the time of promotion, you must turn on your camera and microphone to be sworn in. Your microphone needs to always be on mute unless you are giving testimony at the appropriate time. The chat box is only for questions about the agenda, and merits of each case are not to be discussed in the chat box. For those joining us today in person, please approach the microphone on the podium when it is appropriate to give testimony. Applicants may be seated at the center desk when the case is announced. Everyone planning to testify must sign in on the sign-in sheet that's near the door. If you are in person, there is no need for you to be on the Zoom meeting as well. Joining the meeting in both manners causes a lot of unnecessary feedback and audio disruptions. All testimony, in person and virtual, is subject to the following rules. The BZA secretary or their designated representative will identify you when it is time for you to speak. You must be sworn in under oath to provide testimony. Please provide your full name and address when you are sworn in. Everyone, board members, city staff, and members of the public, needs to speak closely and clearly into the microphone. The BZA has set time limits for all testimony during its meetings. These time limits are 15 minutes for staff presentations, 20 minutes for presentations by applicants, 2 minutes for testimony by individuals, and 5 minutes for testimony by persons representing an organization, such as a neighborhood association, HOA, CID, or business association. You will hear an alarm when your allotted time is over. Please be respectful and wrap up your statement once you hear the alarm. We ask that there be no repetitive or irrelevant testimony. If you wish to admit exhibits, you need to have your exhibits ready on a jump drive or ready to share on your screen, and email the exhibits if they are admitted to the assigned planner for the case. The Board of Zoning Adjustment may take breaks during the day. These breaks are typically taken around 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3 p.m., and will be announced by the chair. Those are all of our procedures.
Thank you, Sarah. Before we start to review cases, I'd like to swear in all city staff members who are presenting or testifying today. If you're online, please turn on your cameras or microphones. Otherwise, please approach the podium. Please raise your right hands. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth in this meeting today?
Sarah Copeland, I do.
James Duddy, I do.
Alec Gustafson, I do.
Matthew Barnes, I do.
Anna Naniski, I do. Stephanie Saldari, I do.
Thank you. Sarah, I'm going to turn it over to you to identify the continuances and or dismissals today.
We have one continuance, and that is docket item number 3, case CD BZA 2025-103, a request to appeal a notice of violation related to an outdoor vehicle sales use on about 1.4 acres generally located at 7730 North Oak Traffic Way. We request this item be continued with fee to December 10th.
Do I have any testimony on this dismissal, either live or in the virtual audience?
There are no hands raised online.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that on docket item 3, case 103, that we continue the case until our December 10th meeting with fee.
Thank you. I've got a motion. Do I have from Mr. Hayes? Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Ms. Wright.
Gorence,
Aye.
Otto,
Aye.
Wright,
Aye.
Hayes,
Aye.
Ebbets.
Aye. That matter's acted upon. And I think we're going to take a case out of order today.
Yes, we request to start with case number 6 as we have an interpreter for this one. Docket item number 6 is case CD BZA 2025-137, a request to approve a variance to permit a larger accessory structure in the rear yard, plus any other needed variances in an R 2.5 zoning district on about 0.11 acres generally located at 2446 Lawn Avenue. Stephanie Saldari is the staff planner for this case.
Yes, my applicant just arrived.
Okay.
Very good.
There is anyone online or in the audience who'd like to speak on this case, if you could please raise your hand or approach the microphone on the podium to be sworn in.
I'm sorry, do I need to be sworn in? You said?
You can go ahead and be seated and we'll swear in both you and the applicant.
Sí.
Buenos dias.
Buenos días.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn. Solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth in this meeting today. If so, please say I do along with your name and address.
Sí, 2446 Lawn Avenue, Kansas City, Missouri.
2446?
2446
2446
Lawn
Lawn
Avenue,
Avenue.
Kansas City, Missouri.
in Kansas City, Missouri.
Perfect. Thank you.
And his name also, please.
Su nombre, por favor.
Jesús Antonio Bárcenas.
Jesús Antonio Barcenas.
Perfect. Gracias. There are,
Can we swear in the interpreter also, please?
interpreter, do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth in this meeting today? If so, please say I do along with your name and address.
I do. Miguel Riquelme, 9835 North Home Avenue, Kansas City, Missouri, 64157.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. For Jesus, there are a list of administrative exhibits labeled 1 to 9 that we need to admit to hear your case today. Do you have any questions on those? And do I have your permission to admit those?
Sí, está bien.
Yes, that's
Okay.
fine.
See, one of those is a staff report or is a presentation by Miss Stephanie Saldari to your left. Stephanie, please tell us about the case today.
Good morning. I have docket item number 6, CDBCA 2025-137, 2446 Lawn Avenue, zone R-2.5. The applicant seeks to obtain a variance to permit an oversized carport that has been built in the rear yard without permits. The subject site is located just over here. This is the site plan. Here is the house. And back here is the carport. This is an aerial overview of the house and the carport. These are photos of the structure. So we have 3 variances before you today. Variance request A is a variance of 668 square feet to the accessory building standards to permit an 868 square foot carport on the subject site per submitted site plan. This is a 334% increase. Accessory structures can only be up to 200 square feet. Change the character of the neighborhood is anticipated. To staff's knowledge, the nearby houses do not have large accessory structures like the subject site per the aerial view on Parcel Viewer. The carport can be reduced in size to meet the 200 square foot requirement to avoid the variance. Request B, a variance of 10 feet to the accessory building standards to permit a separation distance of 0 feet on the subject site per submitted site plan. This is a complete deviation. Change to the character of the neighborhood is anticipated. So to staff's knowledge and checking Parcel Viewer, the nearby properties with accessory structures comply with the separation distance requirement. There is one nearby property with a detached garage that is less than 10 feet away from the principal structures, but there is no record of a building permit or a variance. And then if the carport is reduced to 200 square feet, it can be moved to be 10 feet away from the principal structure and still meet the accessory structure setbacks. Do you need a minute?
Yes, please, sorry.
Oh, sí, ahora
Okay.
sí.
And I don't know if this needs to be admitted as an additional exhibit, but these are photos from the permit compliance investigation.
Okay, that'll be admitted as exhibit number 10.
This is while it was in construction from the investigator. And then the last variance is a variance to permit a gravel driveway on the subject site per submitted site plan. This is a complete deviation. A change to the character of the neighborhood is anticipated. Per Google Street View and Parcel Viewer, the nearby houses seem to have non-gravel driveways. There is a nearby property with a gravel driveway, but staff is not sure if it's a legal non-conforming driveway. The driveway can be paved. However, if paved, the site will need another variance to allow over 75% of impervious coverage on the lot. This is showing the gravel. And this shows Parcel Viewer from 2022 and now, so you can see the difference with the driveways, how it's changed. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Stephanie. Do board members have questions of staff?
Yeah, I have a question. One of the variances is for a 0-foot separation requirement. What makes this a 0-foot separation versus like an extension of the main structure?
Well, to my understanding, this is a carport that was built separately. That's has not been attached. If it is attached, then the variances will change because of the side and rear setbacks for it.
How far is it separated from the house?
It looks like it's like abutting the house.
So how do you attach it? What's your definition of attachment?
It would be a building code issue. You know,
Yeah, that's what I'm
Like a
asking.
bracket or something.
they're two separate
Codes.
yeah, but for this, they're not attached. It's it's considered two separate occupancies and two separate structures
Right.
by permits and plans review.
But if Jesus were to say, figure out a way to make this an attached structure, it would change the variances involved.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would need a variance to the rear setback and the side setback.
But it would get rid of the square footage and
Yeah.
the 0 foot
Yeah.
separation.
It would be 2 for 2.
But we would need to know that he could do that and meet
And
the
it would
building.
require a change in construction.
Right, and he might have to change construction.
That doesn't get rid of the gravel requirement.
No, but
Oh.
maybe the applicant would want to entertain a continuance so that he could check with building codes to see if there's a way to attach this before we deal with the rest of it. You know, you don't want to piecemeal this. That's an option that he has, and that's been fully explained to him.
No, I have not talked about that specifically with the applicant.
Yeah.
But either attached or non-attached, it would still need to meet fire rating, but that would be during the permitting process.
Right, and that's the question I would have is the applicant interested in trying to decide if he could meet those requirements?
Mhm.
And then he would come back here for the rest of the variances, because why would we address a variance that could be fixed another way?
There's a side and rear setback requirements
Mhm.
are sometimes a little bit easier to obtain than a 350% increase for the carport. So
So can we ask the applicant, sir? I don't know if does he understand I'm talking to him? Sir, yes, you, I have a question. Are you interested in having your case continued today so that you could talk to the building codes department, which is different from this board, to see if you could attach the carport to the house in such a way that you would meet building codes to remove one of the variances you need today? And the reason I ask you that is you're asking for a very large variance on the size of that carport. This board is not inclined to grant large variances like that, so you may not get what you want. But if you go explore with the building codes department that you could attach this to your house in such a way that it becomes a part of the house, then that variance request would go away. You understand that?
¿Qué significa postergar?
Atrasar.
Como atrasar.
What do you mean by continuing?
So we would put a pause on this case and come back to it during our next meeting.
Pausa.
It would only take, if this would happen, if you could do this with the building codes department, you would still have other issues that this board would have to take care of. And you could come back in 30 days or 60 days, and we would take care of those things after you could tell us if you could attach this to your house and meet the city's building codes.
Entonces sería mucho mejor juntarlas que separarlas.
So it'll be better if I attach those two structures instead of like do them by separate way?
Yes, it could, because it could remove one of the big problems you have and what brought you here today. But sir, you can't just attach it the way you think is correct. You have to check with the city codes department to make sure you're doing it correctly.
Okay.
Do you understand that? Okay.
Yes.
If basically legally, if it's the same structure as the house, it makes things easier on our end.
Can you repeat that?
if the carport is the same, becomes the same structure as the house, it makes things a little easier for this board.
Okay.
Okay.
So would you like to have some time to see if you can work that out with the city and attach it to the house? The way they approve it?
Sí, entonces necesito ir al piso 5 para preguntar si se puede hacer eso.
So I will need to go fifth floor to see if I can do that.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And let's do 60 days.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you tell us how long that process usually takes?
I think for just inquiring, it shouldn't take very long. So I think continuing to the 12 might work because we don't have another meeting until December after that.
Yeah, you would be looking at November 12th or December 10th.
I think December 10th.
I think we better give him a little more time because there might be other things he has to change.
Mhm.
Okay,
I'll make a motion
go ahead.
on docket item 6,
oh,
case.
wait.
Oh,
Oh, I don't know if we have public testimony.
Yeah, you should,
Oh, we do. Okay.
you need to ask for public testimony.
Is there public testimony on this case, either in the audience or in the virtual audience? Please raise your hands or come forward.
We have no hands raised online.
Okay, great. One other for Jesus. So we will continue your case to December 10th to allow you time to talk with the building codes department and get this worked out. That acceptable to you?
Sí, está bien.
Yes.
10 de diciembre.
December 10th.
Yeah, and he'll have to come back here on that date.
10 de
Okay.
diciembre, okay.
Yes, okay.
On docket item 6, case 137, I move that we continue the matter until our December 10th meeting.
I have a motion from Mr. Hayes. Do I have a second?
Second?
Second from Ms. Otto.
Gorens,
Aye.
Otto,
Aye.
Wright,
Aye.
Hayes,
Aye.
Ebbets.
Aye. We'll see you on December 10th. Thank you. Gracias, Señor Jesus.
Tengo un testimonio de algunos de mis vecinos, nomás que quería venir a la auditoría, pero no pudo porque trabaja. Pero me lo escribió y me lo firmó, nada más que fue ayer en la tarde y no tuve tiempo de ir a notarizarlo, pero
Okay.
él me lo hizo.
I have some testimonies from some of my neighbors. They wanted to be here, but they had to go to work, and I wanted to have this document notarized, but I didn't have the time.
Bring it the next time with notary.
Tráigalos aquí notarizados.
Ok.
Perfecto.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Gracias. Se cierra la sesión.
We have one other item, if we could take it out of order, number 7. Staff has had some discussion with the applicant this morning, and we are now requesting that that item be dismissed.
Which item?
Docket item number 7, is case CD BZA 2025-109, a request to appeal a zoning violation related to an abandoned nonconforming sign within the B4-5 zoning district on about 0.631 acres, generally located at 1700 East Truman Road.
You said dismissal.
Yes, staff recommends that this item be dismissed, and my understanding is that the applicant is,
Are you here in this case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to, before we've heard that wants to be dismissed, I'm going to ask for public testimony on it. Gentlemen, please raise your right hands to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth in this meeting today? If so, please say, I do or I don't, along with your name and address.
I do. Muhammad Noor, 1700 East Truman Road.
1700 East Truman Road. Right.
Okay,
Michael Kinder, I'm chief attorney.
great. So what's your testimony on the dismissal of this case?
Well, Your Honor, it's my understanding that since the matter has been abated, the enforcement on the matter is going to cease and that the client is not going to be required to remove the sign, and therefore the appeal is not necessary, if I'm understanding this correctly.
Yes, the sign violation has been abated, and continuing on, it does not seem relevant for the board to take the time or the applicant to continue.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, Mr. Hayes, I think I'll entertain, there's no other testimony, right?
There are no hands raised online.
Great, thank you, Sarah.
Mr. Chair, on docket item 7, case 109, I move that we dismiss the matter.
I have a motion from Mr. Hayes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Ms. Wright. Please call the roll.
Gorence.
Aye.
Otto.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Ebbets.
Aye. That matter is dismissed. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you. We'll go back up to the top of the docket now. The first two cases are companion cases. We'll call them together. Docket item number 1 is case CD BZA 2025-131, a request to approve a variance to permit a driveway that covers over 40% of the front yard, plus any other needed variances in an R 7.5 zoning district on about 0.75 acres, generally located at 4226 Northwest 77th Terrace. And docket item number 2 is case CD BZA 2025-132, a request to approve a variance to permit a driveway that covers over 40% of the front yard, plus any other needed variances in an R 7.5 zoning district on about 0.39 acres, generally located at 4222 Northwest 77th Terrace. The applicant, Sarah Ladd, is online. If you would please turn on your microphone and camera to be sworn in. And if there is anyone else who would like to speak on this case, if you please raise your hand online or approach the microphone on the podium to be sworn in. S. Flan, I'm going to promote to panelist.
That Miss Lon, is that what I heard you say?
It's SFLAN, S. Flan. I don't,
That's fine.
yeah.
Hello, my name is Sean Vandemeyer.
Okay.
Okay,
good.
hold on for a second. Is your camera on too, sir?
I can turn it on. Sorry about that.
Please do. Thank you.
Okay, here it is.
Yep, I
And
see you.
Do we have the property owner for this case?
Yes.
I'm the
Sarah.
property owner.
Great. Any other people in the audience?
There are no
Line up.
other,
Are you, want to provide testimony?
Yes, but I'm just a regular vote.
That's okay. I'm going to swear you in though at the same time.
there are
It's
no
all
other
good.
hands raised online.
Okay, great. So, Mr. Ladd, I think, and please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth in this meeting today? If so, please say I do or I don't, along with your name and address. Let's start with the live person.
I do. My name is Montika Alexander. I live at 4221 Northwest 77th Terrace in Missouri.
Thank you very much. You can either stay seated or stand there. We'll ask for your testimony in a minute. Sir, for you?
Yes.
Uh,
My name is Sean Vandemeyer.
and say your name again, sir.
Sean, S-E-A-N, last name Flandermeyer.
Thank you, sir. And Sean,
Sarah Ladd.
Sarah Ladd,
oh, Sarah, there you are. Thank you. And your address, Sarah?
350 Southwest Longview Boulevard, Lee Summit.
And are you speaking on the case today, or Sean? Are you speaking on it?
I'm
Sean
speaking
Wolf.
on the case.
Sean is?
Yes.
Okay, great. Sean, there's a list of administrative exhibits labeled 1 to 9 on each case. Do I have your permission to admit those, or do you have any questions on those?
You okay to admit those to the case?
Thank you. Part of that is a presentation by Ms. Soldari on your case. Stephanie, please tell us about these two cases.
All right, we got docket item 1 and 2, CDBCA 2025-131 and 132, located on 4226 and 4222 Northwest 77th Terrace, zoned R-7.5, and the applicant seeks to obtain a variance to the residential vehicular standards to permit a driveway that covers more than 40% of the front yard. The subject site is located just north of Lake Wacomas. Highlighted in yellow are the two subject sites. So this is still a neighborhood that's being built. Only 2 houses have been built so far. So we got variance request for docket item number 1. And that is a variance of 7.3% to the residential vehicular standards to permit an impervious surface of 47.3% on the front yard of the subject site per submitted site plan. This is an 18% increase. A change to the character of the neighborhood is anticipated. This is a new neighborhood where 2 single-family houses have been fully built. Per the approved site plans, their driveways meet the 40% requirement. Additionally, a few other site plans that are to be constructed have been approved for the adjacent vacant lots, and they all show code-compliant driveways. The can the difficulty be obviated? So the applicant does show a code-compliant driveway on the site plan, but they want a larger driveway for convenience to accommodate 2 cars for easier maneuvering. 2 cars can still use the code-compliant driveway. And so this is the site plan for 4226 Northwest 77th Terrace. So it's showing the code compliant driveway would be 14 feet wide. And then the red here, let me just go to the close-up. The red part is that extra driveway that takes it over the 40%. So the white part is the code compliant driveway, and then the red is the variance they're asking for. So variance request for docket item number 2 is a variance of 10.3% to the residential vehicular standards to permit an impervious surface of 50.3% on the front yard of the subject site per submitted site plan. This is a 26% increase, and same as the last variance, there is a change to the character of the neighborhood anticipated because the other lots and houses have approved site plans with code compliant driveways. And again, the applicant shows a code compliant driveway on the site plan, so the difficulty can be obviated. And this is the site plan for 4222 Northwest 77th Terrace. And in the close-up, so again, the white side is the code-compliant driveway and the red is the variance request. And this is just showing the 2 already built houses, and I put a section of the approved site plans showing for this house here, the driveway is 39% of the front yard, and the house next to that has a driveway of 40% of the front yard. And that concludes my presentation.
All right, thank you, Stephanie. Board members, questions of staff? Okay, Sean, why should we approve the request today, sir?
Sarah, could you pull up our presentation again?
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
Exhibit 10?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how.
Okay. I also have it if you prefer I pull it up.
We have a different image that we can share.
No, I sent it to her, Sean.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be exhibit 10, if that's
Okay.
admitted.
Can you go to the plot plans, go to the one that says 166? The primary reason, the hardship that we are incurring is the fact that based upon the percentage driveway requirement, 2 things will occur. One, from an aesthetics standpoint, we believe that the current 13-foot width will create people driving through the grass, which eventually creates a mud pit, which people fill in with bigger rocks, and we do not think that looks good for the community. And then it also shorts that third car garage opening based upon the percentage. I know that we can fix the bend in the driveway to try to make all that work. But primarily due to access to the garage, we believe it'll actually make the aesthetics worse later on due to the true driving habits of our buyer. Also, by widening the driveway or getting the requested variance, currently the 13-foot driveway width on this property is narrower than any other driveway within that cul-de-sac due to the way we have to be pushed back from the building line. And it's our belief that if we were able to be approved for this variance, we could keep more cars off of the cul-de-sac and add one more additional parking spot for this home. Can you show the other home? The other home is much the same situation. We believe by approving the variance, we add one more additional parking spot outside of the cul-de-sac. And again, aesthetically, we believe that the user patterns of a person's car, we're going to end up getting a mud pit at that curve, and or they add things outside of the build to accommodate the property, when ultimately we think we can make it look better aesthetically by just approving the driveway as it's planned to get great access, additional parking, and support the aesthetics for the community.
What's that picture of?
This picture just shows that by adding the driveway widths doesn't change the available parking in the cul-de-sac one way or another. So it was suggested that by widening the driveways, that we're reducing any parking in the cul-de-sac, but regardless of what's approved, you couldn't have fit any additional cars regardless. If we stuck with the current building plan, you could not have parked another car in the cul-de-sac. So we believe by widening these driveways and exceeding the percentage required in the front yard adds 2 additional parking spots to keep people outside the cul-de-sac or additional parking down the street.
So the other driveways in the cul-de-sac are wider than these two?
That's correct.
Stephanie, do you agree with that one?
That the approved,
Yeah, the other approved driveways were a little bit wider than this one.
yes, they are a bit wider, but they still
Yeah.
found a way to meet the 40%.
Right.
And that's because of the configuration of each lot, correct?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the hardship. These lots are shaped differently than those lots. They have a more narrow, well, they narrow down, yeah. It's the lot next with the 22-foot driveway. It's a bigger lot.
If I lived in the cul-de-sac, I'd rather have the cars on the driveway and not in the cul-de-sac where kids are playing.
Well, we're going to get some more testimony.
Right across the street in the house, it's going to be facing these 2 lots. And my driveway at the point where you guys are calling it is 16.4 at the entrance, like the maximum or the smallest point. My neighbor's driveway is 18.5, so I'm not really sure how the 20 is like we're more, because it doesn't show that. I'm in this red house right here. My neighbors are here. Our entrances are exceptionally.
I can't hear the testimony.
That our entrances into our lots are exceptionally similar. I don't know why they would need to take away the green space between those houses to do that, when we've all managed to live there for over a year without any issues or driving in the grass as he's concerned about. If they were custom built houses and somebody had a reason to do this, I would not be here. I am not saying 13 feet is a reasonable amount of driveway, but I do not feel they need to go to the 20. So I feel like that it kind of needs to go back to the drawing board a little bit on how these driveways are angled in or how they are brought up to the houses versus just blanketly giving a variance on it. So I'm not saying you shouldn't give a variance. I'm just saying I don't believe as the person across the street that this is a correct variance. So if you take and look at what I've got up there, I pulled this straight off the city. So I'm assuming the city's stuff is right. And it looks as though when you actually put these two driveways, and he just showed you the bottom part of the driveway, when you put these two driveways all the way in, they make like a little diamond shape, and it's basically concrete at the end with a little diamond shape of greenery. These are not inexpensive houses. We do want to keep our property value up. We don't want it looking like a duplex complex. So I would like them to reconfigure those driveways to accommodate their homes, which we are glad to have, but to do it in a way where we still keep some green space between those driveways. So it looks like a neighborhood versus an apartment complex.
Thank you for that.
Do we have an overhead of the cul-de-sac to see the existing driveways?
Yeah, I can pull it up on Parcel Viewer.
That'd be helpful.
And to clarify what we mean by width here, the curb cut width for the proposed driveway has a compliant curb cut, correct?
Yes, it's as long as it does not exceed 22 feet.
We're just concerned about the surface area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me the base map. So here are the two lots for the variance request, and these are the two existing.
Stephanie, can you share online?
Oh, yeah.
We can, excuse me, we can add that as an exhibit too, Chair.
Okay. That'll be exhibit number 11, I think.
I think
10?
12.
Yeah,
We got
because we had the presentation.
presentation, the photos, and this.
Exhibit number 12, and that's admitted. Thank you.
So, Miss Alexander, in looking at this photograph and the two existing houses, is yours the one with or without the pool?
I'm with the pool with the smallest driveway.
Okay.
And we did that because that's the code.
Yeah. So
It's not easy.
in terms of what you're saying between these two proposed homes is that how does that differ from you and your neighbors? So you see the green space with the sidewalk and a little bit of green. Are you saying that that green space completely disappears?
Can you go back to, Stephanie, would you mind going back to that one? And like I said, I pulled this, I'm not an architect, I just live here. I pulled this off the city. Look between where the two driveways are.
Sure.
Can you make that bigger?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I can't see it from here.
And share your screen, Stephanie. Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Over.
And I do not in any way represent that this is architecturally correct. I just literally piece them together from all the plans. So you can see between those two houses where we have green space between ours. They have a little green space between that first one, but that second one, they are just packed together. Like they're driveway to driveway.
So, Mr. Flandermeyer, do you agree with what Ms. Alexander has shown us, that what you're proposing is that these two homes' driveways will actually touch?
No.
So what can you show us to disprove this representation?
That image is distorted. We have measurements to show, and I could see if we could send it, or Sarah could pull it up right now. We project a 6-foot distance between the two of those driveways.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should need to see that so we can tell what the
Sarah,
difference.
can you pull up at least the measurements or pull up our plot plans to show, maybe through Bluebeam, to measure what we have available right now? We can't hear you because you're on mute.
Sorry. I'm trying to keep quiet over here. This is 166.
So that's the
So
house
it's just a
that's
rough
on the right.
measurement.
1 foot 9.5.
And
And
then what's on the
then-
other one?
That one's a little off.
3'3".
So it's not
So it's
6
5
foot, it's,
feet.
yeah, it's more like 5 feet.
5 feet.
Why do you
So
need
you-
it to curve out so much in both locations? I mean, if you're
We
trying
could
to,
probably fix that curve there by like tightening it up and then pushing the other part of the curve in a little bit so it's not so close. If it was thought out more to get a mower through, you have to have at least a 5-foot width between the property lines, because if you don't, then if someone to have their yard maintained, they need more space than they need 5 feet to get through. But
Ms.
we
Alec-
could correct that by changing the bend, tightening up that space right there to an acceptable width.
So, Ms. Alexander, does that alleviate your concerns, knowing that there's about 5 feet between those, or you still have the same concerns?
I still have somewhat the same concerns. My question is, why can't that driveway angle out a bit to give more green space in there? Why does it have to be right next to each other? I mean, they knew what they were buying when they bought the lots. They knew they were tight. The rest of us all managed to live within the city requirements. Why do they have to have it different? Because we do like our green space. I mean, we have tons of animals and, you know, we would like to see it look like a neighborhood versus a concrete cul-de-sac. And it's a small cul-de-sac.
Could I respond?
Sure.
I think that we can come to a solution that would make sense for her by correcting that bend a little bit. But I do believe that aesthetically, if that's the concern, it was referenced like duplexes. I mean, these homes are going to be close to $700,000. I am considerate of the expense that a buyer is going to have within these homes, and a 14-foot wide driveway. The reality is the buyer behavior is going to be in conflict with the rules. I think we can come to an amicable resolution to gain more space between the two driveways, maybe by another foot on both sides by squeezing that in. And, I think the reason that the other two driveways are like they are is that based upon my review of Parcel Viewer, there was never even thought put into it, nor a request for a variance in this situation. But quite honestly, we're trying to put more thought into this, to the access, and provided there would have been a variance request, it's not to say that that wouldn't have been granted to your homes. It just wasn't considered at the time of build.
It actually was considered.
Based upon the review, it wasn't in the variance. So if it was a concern, I guess it wasn't submitted.
We chose not to submit it. We decided to live within the rules of the city's codes. That was a choice. Our builder and I discussed that.
Well, based upon the two driveways that we have, we still have a much narrower width compared to the other two. And if these two driveways are not poured, we will reconsider the lot choices and leave these two lots barren is kind of where we're at.
That's your choice, I would say.
That's your choice, sir.
Right.
Do you want to come back to us with a different proposal in a couple weeks?
Not really. I'd like to see if we could come to resolution within this meeting to change the bend and make the gap acceptable between the two driveways.
Would you be
And the
comfortable?
primary reason why is because it's going to delay these builds, out another month. So I'd like to see if there's something that we could resolve today.
So he offered an additional foot on each side. Does that make you more comfortable?
I think that just
acceptable.
the way it's laid out does not really make me comfortable at all anyway, but I mean, I understand that you do have to have X number of feet to get in. I just feel like that they could angle those driveways differently to get them in. So if he's willing to work toward getting a larger green space, and I'm saying 8, 10 feet between those two houses, like everybody else's, it's not going to aesthetically kill the neighborhood. And my house is much more expensive than what he's building, so I'm obviously more concerned and he's spec homing. So
I don't really feel like this is a matter of variance. It's more just a matter of opinion. She's
is a
been
matter.
disturbed and said that we were going to get dirt in her pool, and it's more of an argument between neighbors. But my reality is that if we expand the base, those 4 feet, no homes could go there. If we made 4 feet from both property lines, because even if we switch the driveway handing, we're still kind of in the same situation based upon the back of the cul-de-sac. And I kind of go back to the beginning of this meeting. The reason that we're asking for the variance is because we believe that buyer behavior is that they will drive through the grass, they will create a mud pit, hence adding more deterioration to the neighborhood than making it look good. And I think we can all agree that we've seen that in many neighborhoods before. Plus, the off-street parking is an important component of this.
So, Mr. Meyer, was it your opinion they add another foot both directions?
I mean, he offered that, and I think if he's comfortable doing that, I think that's something we should take into consideration.
If the applicant is willing and able to change the shape, but still require a variance, we wouldn't want to approve a variance without appropriate site plans to reflect that, would we not? That would be the purpose of doing a continuance.
Yes, I guess from like staff's opinion, we would want an updated site plan showing how they're gonna change that angle. Because so you guys can approve it per the site plan.
Is there a way to do this without another month delay? So
Sarah, can you show it
the
right now?
builder's
on the
not
screen?
incurring additional carrying costs and such?
Subject
delay
to,
costs.
subject to an approved site plan based
Yes.
on whatever.
Well, it wouldn't be a month anyway. We meet in 2 weeks.
3
Well,
weeks.
It's not a full meeting.
weeks, I guess.
3 weeks, yeah.
I did ask him for this information. I asked Sarah actually for this information several weeks ago, and I never got it.
That's because it's submitted through the process with the city, which you have the ability to view.
I did.
All right, what are we gonna do here?
Sarah, can you show on the screen by adjusting the driveway real time in Bluebeam?
Let me ask this question. We have several more cases to hear. Is it possible that we recess this case? You and Sarah work with trying to create a new plan? And then we take your case up in about an hour or so?
Sure, that would work.
Why don't we recess? And we'll call you back up. And that way we'd have a better chance of seeing a real plan to be fair to the board, to be fair to the applicant, and to be fair to our neighbor who's here and with concerns.
Thank you.
Okay, that sounds good. We appreciate that.
All right, so we'll pause this case for a bit, at least an hour.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
actually less.
Yeah, work as fast as you
Yeah.
can because we're gonna keep going here. That would be my
How would you like us
suggestion.
to notify you that we're done with
Can somebody get an email?
I can leave Sarah as a panelist and then she can send me a message when you're ready.
Okay,
Great.
all right,
let's
thank you
call
very
the
much.
next-
We appreciate that.
Sure. Let's call the
Thanks,
next case. This is number 4, I believe.
Yeah, did we continue to?
Yeah, so we're going to pause that one.
Docket item number 4 is case CD SUP 2025-27, a request to approve a special use permit in proposed district R80 on about 20 acres, generally located on the south side of Northeast 108th Street, approximately 1,000 feet east of Northeast Shoal Creek Parkway, allowing for creation of a sports field. Matthew Barnes is the staff planner for this case. If you are the applicant or a member of the public who would like to speak on this case, please raise your hand online or approach the microphone on the podium to be sworn in. Is Jake Dobbs who you're
Good morning, Matthew Barnes, City Planning and Development.
Good
Here.
morning, Matthew.
Good.
Jacob, do we have any other in the audience?
Is he going to be speaking on this case? No? Oh, now he's raised his hand. Okay. I'll promote you to panelist, Jake.
Chuck Cuda, I'm the applicant. If I
Thank
need
you.
to answer any
We're going to
questions.
swear you in just a second.
Yep.
And-
Jacob and
Jacob needs to turn on his camera and microphone. There you go.
Good morning.
there you go. We got him?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Hey, Jacob and Charles, please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth in this meeting today? If so, say I do or I don't, along with your name and address.
I do. Jacob Dobbs, Covell Engineering at 8040 North Oak Traffic Way, Kansas City, Missouri.
Thank you.
I do. Chuck Cuda, 10254 North Kansas Avenue, Kansas City, Missouri, 64155.
And who's speaking on the case to begin with? You or Jacob? Jacob, there's a list of administrative exhibits labeled 1 to 9 that we need to admit for your hearing today. Do you have any questions on those items? And do I have your permission to admit them?
Yes, you have my permission.
Great. Those are admitted. One of those is a presentation by Mr. Barnes. Please tell us about it, Matt.
Okay, Matthew Barnes, City Planning and Development with docket item number 4, which is a special use permit for sports and recreation participant. This site is located in the Northland within Clay County. You can see its location there around 435. Here's a closer view yet. 435 there is to the right side of the screen to the east. Staley High School is that complex there just to the northeast. The entire site is highlighted in yellow, but the portion that is proposed for the special use permit, which was recently rezoned, is there in red. Site is currently undeveloped as part of a larger plan the applicant has, who has already gained approval of a project plan and rezoning. The rezoning was approved last week on October 16th. Rezoned this parcel from R7.5 to R80. The R80 portion is highlighted in red there. Everything else will remain R7.5, and the previously approved project plan shows the 41 single unit homes there, which that served as a preliminary plat. They'll still have to come through and do a final plat to create these lots, but that is not under consideration today. The special use permit, the applicant is requesting approval of a special use permit to allow for sports and recreation participant on that highlighted in red area. It's proposed for a sports turf field and a potential future of a building with interior courts. The special use permit has a condition that is for 2 years to be renewed. And here's just that site plan. In green is the proposed sports field, which will be turf, and the red is the potential future building, which will be for interior courts. With that, the City Plan Commission recommended approval with conditions, and I can take any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Barnes. Board members, any questions of Matthew? All right. Why should we approve your request today, sir?
Good morning, board. Thank you for hearing our case today. So the field that we're looking at is something that the applicant wanted to install before their house that they're going to build on that same lot in the future. And basically the zoning does not allow a standalone field like this by itself, which is why we've gone through the rezoning process and we're applying for the SUP currently.
What's the field's intended use?
Chuck, do you want to speak on that?
Yeah, it's just private use. I've got nonprofit sports organization. I have 4 kids, 3 boys, and I coach all of them in youth sports. And just to make my life, convenient and free up time for me to do other things, it's just going to be private use for me and my boys.
And what is the turf? Describe that in more detail. What will that?
It's very similar to the Staley High School turf football field. It's a synthetic product. It'll have the subsurface drainage. It'll be built to specs so that I could get the warranty from the turf company.
Will you have basketball courts? I mean, what's going to be on the turf?
No, it's just going to be a multi-purpose field. So it's just going to be turf. It's going to be 510 feet by 336 feet of turf. I'll be able to practice all 3 boys' practices at the same time, 2-3 days a week, as opposed to spending 7 days of practice, in the spring and the fall. Flag football, same thing. Currently, I'm running around, bringing my kids to 3 different locations. I could have all the teams practice, flag football simultaneously, same place.
So how often will you be having sports practices in this residential area?
Well, it's 3 days a week in the spring, probably 2 days a week in the fall.
How many extra cars will that bring to the property?
I have no idea, but I mean, it's my property. I mean, I'm building my house here.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm trying to understand. I mean, this is almost what you're trying to build is a practice field for your boys' teams, right? So you're going to have. I mean, how many team members do they have? And you're going to have cars there constantly.
So I have 3 teams, 4 teams in the Naturals Baseball Club, say 45 kids throughout the organization.
I'm familiar with what you do. Could you just give a little bit of background of like how you're helping the community and these kids? Because I think that's important with.
Yeah, so the Naturals,
just for
right.
random people.
Right. Naturals Baseball Club is set up as a 501c3. So, I mean, we do more than just work with these kids, between the lines. I'm trying to build leaders for tomorrow, outside the lines. The kids are going through fundraising efforts currently to assist with paid coaches. We're doing mindset work. I'm a published author. This is more to me than just youth sports and winning at a youth level. It's really developing the organization and these kids to be leaders of tomorrow. So, they assist us with fundraising efforts. They assist us at various events that we have at Oak Ridge Family Social Club for sign off for community service hours. And we're really working more than just baseball. That's why we have the idea with the building as well. In the off season, I could do some mindset classes there. We could really teach them how to cultivate a growth mindset as opposed to coming from a position of scarcity.
I mean, I think that's all admirable, but I'm still concerned that this use is going to change the residential area, because the houses that I saw on your plan are going to be built right up next to this.
So those houses are for future development. So my house is going on lot 1. And if I felt that I was going to devalue a subdivision, I wouldn't be building a house of the value that I'm going to build on this property. I mean, this is private use. This is not intended to be a public park. This is not intended to be a high traffic area. It's to benefit me, my time, my kids, the youth, the community that we're trying to build. We're looking at developing 41 estate lots on the east side of that creek. And to get the value that we're going to want to get, or need to get rather, for these 1 acre lots, I mean, I can't build something that's going to deter people, deter potential buyers of these lots and deter the potential development. If I felt that was going to be the case, I wouldn't be doing it. So I understand the concern, but I mean, it's substantial private investment for me. And if I felt that was going to neglect my private investment, I wouldn't be doing this.
Where would vehicles enter this lot? Would it be through this what appears to be cul-de-sac shaped North Mersington Avenue, or would it be the existing street that borders to the north, 108th Street?
So they would come off of 108th Street into that cul-de-sac. Could you pull that up? And those lots that you see there are for future development. Those lots are going to be held for my kids. I mean, I'm not intending to sell those lots.
So you're saying
So
if I was a parent of a child on the team, I'd come from 108th Street, turn on in Mersington, down this cul-de-sac,
Yep.
and enter somewhere along there?
that's correct. And then my driveway is going to come off of the cul-de-sac and be right in that area.
How old are the children?
11, 10, 8, and then my daughter's 5.
So that's the demographic that you're striving for on your sports field.
Yeah.
Would the parents be bringing the kids on a typical practice? How many kids? And I mean, just so they,
Yeah, well,
to her question, she just wants to know how many cars approximately are going to be coming. So.
Yeah, I mean, here we practiced at Central Bank Sporting Complex. This is the first time we practiced them all 3 at the same time this fall. And we had 6 coaches there and maybe 10 parents stick around. They drop their kids off. I mean, we have enough coaches and parents there that, they entrust us with their children. So, I mean, 16 cars are actually maybe going to be parked, 12 to 16 cars.
Okay.
I'm just one person. I've seen this happen in another neighborhood, and it was a mess.
This
And
isn't a neighborhood. I mean, I'm buying 120 acres. I mean, if we want to scratch the neighborhood so that I can have a sports field, I'm fine with that. I mean, we're going to be losing tax dollars. We're going to be losing residents coming to Kansas City, et cetera. I'm not doing this to make money. I do it. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I have enough businesses. I'm doing this to make my life convenient so that I could reinvest capital into Kansas City, like I did with Oak Ridge Family Social Club, which was a $10 million private development. I bought the old Sears building, American Freight. If I don't have time to invest in the city and the community, then, you know, what's it for?
I appreciate all that. I'm just saying that this board allows one like this, then we allow another one and another one and another one, and you're turning a residential location into more of a commercial venue. I'm one board member. You can convince four other people to give you what you want, but I'm a little concerned about what I see.
Is there like a plan for where these, say there's 12, 16 vehicles arriving, suppose all of them had to park, where are they going to park?
Are there any conditions that require parking, Jacob?
No, I don't believe so, Matt. If you could correct me if I'm wrong, please.
No, I don't believe there's any conditions on parking.
I mean, the street itself is how many linear feet? If we require on-street parking in neighborhoods where there's houses, why would they not be able to park on the street where there's no houses?
That's, I just, I see this vehicular traffic would pass, what, 6, 7 residential parcels, and they'll park, curb park here. If I were living in one of those houses, I don't know.
Guys, I'm going to emphasize this. The residential development is ancillary to me. Tell me not to build those 8 houses. I really don't care.
Yeah, I think it's a little different since he owns all the land surrounding. I do agree with you. If you wanted to put this, next to Hot Midwest New Development, for instance, they just got approved. I get that. But he does own all the land that surrounds us.
In this location is in between 2 creeks that's not going to be developed. Shoal Creek Parkway, the city, I would assume, is going to take my land at some point and extend Shoal Creek Parkway. So there's going to be no development west of that creek.
And I agree with Mr. Meyer. He owns the property, so he kind of controls his own destiny on it. And as the kids grow up to be 18, 19, 20, perhaps he then rips up the turf and makes housing out of it. So, and it's only a 2-year permit is what we're doing. So in 2 years, Mr. Kuda's got to come back before us and say yes or no, how's it working, things like that. So that's my philosophy.
What's the timeline on the residential parcels?
Well, they got rezoned. I mean, I don't know when I'm going to start development. I was hoping to submit plans for my house in December of this year and then wrap up my construction first. I mean, that's more of a future project for me. Like I said, I've got enough going on right now. I don't need to necessarily develop a subdivision. I want to have that opportunity and I want to get my house completed prior to doing it. So I would say that the development of the east side of that creek for those, is it 41 lots or 34? What's up? So 30 something. So those 30 something lots would probably be sometime in when I'm coming back for the renewal in 2 years.
And CPC did endorse it looks like.
You said, I'm sorry, the construction on the other parcels would probably begin sometime around 2 years from now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would say, hopefully the construction for my house could begin, Q2 of next year.
Well, I just don't see any other development in the area yet. Not that it won't come, but I was trying to do what Chuck's trying to do. I'd entertain, teaching the kids, helping them practice, developing their sports motif along with the psychological benefits. And that would be another 4 to 5 years from now. He's got to come back in 2 years anyway to, if we approve it, to get a renewal of the special SUP. So. All right. Board members?
For me, I do respect property rights and your ability to do what you want to do on your property. So that you're doing this at your own risk, because in 2 years we can say, don't, you gotta take it all up. And at that point is when you can build the houses. And I would imagine if you're going to build houses, they wouldn't want to choose a house where there's a bunch of traffic. So it's going to be hard to sell those houses if you do decide to do that. So as one board member for me, I wouldn't mind entertaining a motion just to ensure that we are, again, respecting property rights, but then also adhering to the conditions that I've seen that CDC put in here to support what he's trying to do, but at the same time understanding the additional things. I see the ADA requirements and the ramps and all that stuff you have to do here anyway. And so I'm comfortable with it being a 2-year, because then we can come back and say, hey, when you do residential, you got to pull it up and do something different there. So I'll make a motion.
All right.
I don't think we've asked for
Oh,
public
sorry.
comment.
Sorry.
Do we have public testimony?
There are no hands raised online.
ahead,
So
Ms.
in
Wright.
docket number 4, case number 27, I move that we approve the request for the special use permit with the conditions set by CDC accordance to the staff report.
I've got a motion from Ms. Wright. Do I have a second? Second. Second from Mr. Gorens.
Gorens,
Aye.
Otto,
Nay.
Wright,
Aye.
Hayes,
Aye.
Ebbets.
Aye. We'll see you in 2 years. Good
Thank
luck with your project.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Chuck. See you.
Docket item number 5 is case CD BZA 2025-141, a request to approve a variance to permit a shorter setback for a proposed swimming pool, plus any other needed variances in an R7.5 zoning district on about 0.22 acres, generally located at 2721 Northeast 91st Place. Stephanie Saldari is the staff planner for this case. If you are a member of the public who would like to speak on this case, please raise your hand online or approach the microphone on the podium to be sworn in.
Anyone in the audience there?
We have no hands raised online.
Great. Good morning, sir. Please
Morning.
raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth in this meeting today? If so, say I do or I don't, along with your name and address.
I do. Stephen Robert Smetana. And it's 2721 Northeast 91st Place, Kansas City, 64156.
Thank you, Stephen. There are lists of administrative exhibits labeled 1 to 9 that we need to admit for your case today. Do you have any questions on those, or do I have your permission to admit them?
You have my permission.
Thank you. One is as a presentation. Those are admitted, and one of that is a presentation by Ms. Saldari. Thank you, Stephanie.
All right, we got docket item number 5, CDBCA 2025-141, located on 2721 Northeast 91st Place, zone R-7.5, and the applicant seeks to obtain variance to permit a shorter setback to the rear property line for a proposed pool in the rear yard. The subject site is located north of Gladstone. Highlight in yellow is the subject site. This is another cul-de-sac that's still being developed. And this is the site plan. So the pool will be back here, and there is a 5-foot setback from the rear property line and a 13-foot distance between the pool and the house. And this is another rendering showing like what the pool will look like placed in the rear yard. And there's a protected stream buffer in the back here. And then another image to show that. This is a rendering of the pool the applicant would like to install. And we have one variance today. It's a variance of 5 feet to the accessory uses and standards to permit a rear setback of 5 feet on the subject site per submitted site plan. This is a 50% decrease. So for pools, the setback to property lines is 10 feet. Change to the character of the neighborhood is anticipated. The pool is too close to the rear property line. This is a new neighborhood, and this request could set a precedent. Can the difficulty be obviated by a change in the sign? So the purpose of the placement of the swimming pool is to accommodate a family member with impaired vision, which I'll let the applicant explain that more. Um, the 13-foot distance from the existing house is to avoid accidents. However, the size of the pool could be reduced or the shape could be altered to meet the 10-foot rear setback. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Stephanie. Any questions of Ms. Saldori? All right.
One
okay,
question.
so-
Yes.
I see a 13-foot separation with the house.
Mhm.
What's the minimum separation?
So there isn't a minimum separation from the pool to the house because the pool is not a structure.
Right.
And our code only specifies a separation from the property line, not from another structure. So that would be more of a building code.
But as far as the
thing.
zoning code's concerned, you could have a swimming pool right up to your house.
Yes.
The building code issues may have with that, I think. All right.
Do we know if the house next door had to get a variance?
The house. Hold on.
No, he did not.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Just
don't
curious.
see any other variances in that neighborhood.
It just looks like it was pretty close also.
Is that a pool or a tennis court? I can't tell what that is.
It's a pool.
It is?
Yes, and there
Okay.
is I was briefed it was a sewer easement, but it's some kind of a water easement 15 foot behind the property line before it reaches the protected stream buffer.
All right, well, any other questions? Is that good? Tell us why we should approve your request today, sir.
I have a son, he's 32 years old. He was hurt when we were hit head on when he was 7 weeks old. He's got a severe diffuse brain injury. He's got all kinds of different issues, one of them being cortical blindness, which and I have doctor's notes showing he's legally blind. And what we're looking for is a little more room. So what he does is he swims. During the summertime, he'll get in the pool at 9 o'clock in the morning and we'll take him out at 8 o'clock at night. And he wanders around. He gets out of the pool. Usually we have a hot tub. We probably will have another hot tub and he'll get in there even when it's 100 degrees out. And he'll go in between the two. I've had instances at our last place where he has fallen. He does see some stuff. To what extent, we don't know. He's nonverbal. I think it's more two-dimensional type of vision. But I've caught him when I've cut back on the concrete, fall and hurt himself, and I'm trying to avoid that. If I have enough room in between when he comes out on the one picture is we're probably going to be putting a trampoline in for him. He does a lot of stemming, and so that's one of his big things, and that will be to the left of the pool as you come out. The pool is going to be offset to the right of a little bit to center on the stairs for the pool. My goal is to basically make it so he can go ahead and come out of the basement and just make a left turn and get over to the trampoline and that without an issue. I just feel that 5 foot closer, that just makes it a little tighter, and again, that's where I had the problem one other time, is when he fell and got hurt.
And this 5-foot variance is to that buffer area that no one's going to ever build in, correct?
Correct.
I have a motion.
Good. Yes, sir. I was waiting for that. Ms. Otto?
I have a motion.
Wait, public
Uh,
testimony.
Sorry.
Is there any public testimony on this
There are no hands raised online.
in the audience? Ms. Otto?
In docket number 5, case number 141, I move that the board grant the requested variance in accordance with the staff report and site plan.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Hayes.
Gorens,
Aye.
Otto,
Aye.
Wright,
Aye.
Hayes,
Aye.
Ebbets.
Aye. Your project is approved. Good luck with it, sir. Captain?
Thank you very
Thank
much. I
you.
appreciate it.
Pressing through. I don't think we need a break yet, do we?
No, yeah, let's go
It's
because
10:20.
yeah, I was going to say, and they're still coming back with something, right?
Yeah. Let's, we okay, Sarah?
Docket item number 8 is case CD SUP 2025-33, a request to approve a special use permit within an R 0.5 zoning district in order to construct a parking garage for accessory parking on the subject site on about 1.8 acres, generally located at 414 East 22nd Street. Anna Naniski is the staff planner for this case. If you are a member of the public who would like to speak on this case, please raise your hand online or approach the microphone on the podium to be sworn in.
None?
We have no hands raised online.
Thank you. Gentlemen, good morning. Please raise your right hands to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth in this meeting today? If so, please say I do or I don't, along with your name and address. Let's start with this gentleman on.
I do. Paul Osborne with McClure Engineering, 1700 Swift Street, North Kansas City, Missouri.
Thank you, Paul.
I do. Adam Zorn with Children's Mercy at 2401 Gillum Road.
Thank you, Adam.
I
And
do. Matt Gosa with McCarthy Building Companies.
thank you, Matthew. Okay. Who's speaking on the case today? One of the three of you. Who's starting?
I'll probably start.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Yeah, thank you. And gentlemen, be sure to bring the microphone closer so we can hear you. Thank you so much. Paul, there's a list of administrative exhibits associated with your case. They're labeled 1 to 5. All right, sorry, I got to get down to the bottom here. It's almost done. 1 to 10. Do you have any questions on those exhibits? And if not, do I have your permission to admit them?
No questions and permission granted.
Thank you. Those are admitted. Part of that is a presentation by the fine lady to your left. Anna, please tell us about the case.
Thank you. As previously mentioned, this case CD SCP 2025-33, the applicant is seeking a special use permit to develop a parking garage on the subject site for hospital staff. So the property in question is located in the downtown Hospital Hill area of Kansas City, Missouri. You can see a close-up of the site on the screen. If you're familiar with the Hospital Hill area, this is right on the edge near East 22nd Street and Oak Street. As you're heading down north towards, the more crossroady downtown portion, and there's the Hospital Hill Park right across the street with an existing older like industrial type building on the site that will be demolished to make room for the proposed project. So this is a site plan view of what the parking garage is going to look like. There's going to be a little over 1,000 parking stalls installed here, taking up a majority of the lot. These are renderings of the parking lot of what they looked like during version 1 of this review, when city staff was reviewing these plans. This is significant for me to show you what it originally was designed to look like later, so you can see what their proposal is. So per this section of code, parking very typically has to be on the exact same lot that the use is, and with a complementary zoning district, unless approved by a special use permit, which is why we're here today, for the
the off-site accessory parking for the Children's Mercy Hospital. So now I'm going to go into the review criteria for a special use permit and go into the 3 items that I believe best represent city staff's decision, a recommendation, and the recommendation from the City Planning Commission. So the first one being number A, which is if it complies with all applicable standards of the Zoning and Development Code. And so the plan section, the plan analysis section, excuse me, of the staff report, goes into this in a lot of detail. And we also take this opportunity to talk about any area plans or like the comprehensive plan. This did receive a medium alignment from the long range planner. And in that section of the staff report, the plan analysis section, you'll see there's lots of variance requests and administrative adjustments associated with this project. And we'll get into the variance requests now. So the first being the front setback. The property is zoned R, which the setbacks, lend itself better for residentially used properties or structures. So to accommodate the size of the parking garage that they desire, that parking garage, is very, very close to the front street. They need a setback variance for that. It's a 75% change from what is required. Considering what could be a vacant piece of land or just the old current structure on the property, the proposal is not going to create a substantial change, especially considering the existing parking garage directly to the east. And the difficulty could be obviated by changing the design of the parking garage, for example, like decreasing the size of it. Another variance attached to the case is related to the boulevard and parkway standards. So I should have mentioned earlier that that little section of East 22nd Street is technically designated as a boulevard, which means the structures along that bit of road have to comply with the boulevard and parkway standards. And that results in specific design regulations for structured parking like we see today. So this particular regulation involves there being some sort of improved space in front of the parking to conceal the parking spaces on the ground level. This is just a very standard parking garage that they're not proposing to have that improved space in front of it. So there's a variance to that. It is a complete deviation. Considering the existing conditions, we don't anticipate a substantial change to the character of the neighborhood, and the difficulty could be avoided by a change of design, like for example, adding some sort of like mixed use to the parking garage. Another boulevard and parkway standard is that it's kind of in line with the improved space that I just mentioned, but it talks about how any spaces on the ground level have to be concealed by, again, some sort of improved space. There is none, so this is a complete deviation. We do not believe that this proposal will cause a substantial change considering the existing conditions, and the difficulty could be obviated by a change in design. The last boulevard and parkway standard here is talking about where that primary vehicular access can be. So for structured parking along the boulevard, it has to be a secondary access point and it can only have 2 lanes. This is going to be a secondary access in the sense that the parking garage is going to also be connected to the parking garage to the east, which has a main entry point and a secondary entry point. But this entry point for this proposed garage has 3 lanes attached to it. So it needs a variance to have a 3-lane secondary access point. This is a complete deviation to the code. The proposal is not going to cause a substantial change to the neighborhood considering existing conditions, and the difficulty could be avoided by changing that 3-lane access point to 2 lanes. And then lastly, for the variances, it's related to the outdoor lighting and the spillover light. Again, considering how they're designing the parking garage and making sure there's adequate lighting in the front of the parking garage for hospital staff to enter and exit off of East 22nd Street. The foot candle spillover is larger than what is required by city code. The proposal, again, is not going to change considering existing conditions. There's a parking garage directly to the east, and the difficulty could be avoided by a change in design for that lighting plan. So we're talking about review criteria A for the SUP, where I've also talked about the need for the variances. Now I'm going into the review criteria still for those variances within that SUP conversation. So this is the review criteria for the variances, which is if a strict application of the sections of code is going to result in unnecessary hardship for this property that is not applicable for other properties within the same type of zoning district. So there is a fleshed out variance narrative that the applicants provided, which is attached to the staff report. And the applicant is seeking to maximize this particular lot to take as many parking spaces as possible and put it onto the property because they are relocating the parking spaces that occurs for existing hospital staff from across the street behind north. So I should just show the map. Boop, boop. Okay, and I have a better picture later, but you can see here in the corner a little bit of the surface parking lot that I'm referring to. So that is currently where hospital staff are parking, and it's kind of like a satellite parking lot where they're then being bused into the main campus. And so they're utilizing as much space on this particular parcel as possible to get as many parking spots as possible, so hospital staff is closer to the main campus. And review criteria B for the variances talks about the purposes of the zoning and development code. So why do these regulations exist? All of the boulevard and parkway standards, whether if it's for homes or apartment complexes or a structured parking lot, it's all to intentionally provide high quality design for those particular thoroughfares, whether it's an existing boulevard or a new parkway, that's being established in town. That setback standards are also meant to create like consistent development patterns along a residentially zoned property. We've got specific parking garage standards to reduce how vehicular oriented a very vehicular oriented building should be. And then outdoor lighting standards reduce lighting pollution. And lastly, for the variance review criteria, considers what the public gains from upholding the zoning and development code versus like the hardship for the property owner if the variance is denied. So if the variance is denied, then the special use permit will have to be amended so it could meet with the zoning and development code. If the variances are approved, then the special use permit could proceed with the plans that we see today, move forward with that building plans and permit review, considering you also approve the special use permit. And the preliminary facade improvements that I'll get into in a little bit attached to the staff report are going to kind of offset they're going to meet the intent of the boulevard and parkway standards, though the variances are still needed. So what I mean by that is that, as I mentioned before, this is what was originally proposed to city staff, and we have been working with the property owner and their design team. We understand why they couldn't meet some of those boulevard and parkway standards, but how do we get to that high quality design that the boulevard and parkway standards are trying to meet and still meet the goals of Children's Mercy? So when the CPC reviewed this case, this is what they were reviewing, with the condition attached to the case that preliminary facade elevations were going to be provided to us to show how they are going to enhance the look of this parking garage, again, to meet the intent, the spirit of the boulevard and parkway standards, though still needing the variances. Okay, so this is what we have now for you guys to review. You can see there's a lot more brick on that front glass stairway structure portion, tower portion of the garage. A lot of the levels of the parking garage are concealed by that metal screening decorative, and these enhancements are on the front of the parking garage and on the side and on the back, so that when you're looking at it from a direction that we're mostly going to be looking at it from, it's going to be a more enhanced parking garage, which city staff very much appreciates for this intersection coming into downtown. So I showed you the front, this is the side, and even the back when you're on Oak driving south towards the campus. So that was the variances and review criteria A for the SUP. Going back to the review criteria for the special use permit, which is C, is the use compatible with the surrounding area, and especially in relates to the site planning and the building of the project of the surrounding area. So as I've mentioned many times, there's an existing Children's Mercy parking garage exactly to the east. There are railroad tracks. There are surface parking lots for hospital staff and office buildings all surrounding this property. So though it's zoned residential, probably from a long time ago when there was more parkland, we think the parking garage at this location is going to be pretty compatible with the existing uses and structures. And then review criteria E, will the use have a significant adverse impact on pedestrian safety? Yes, it's a 1,000, parking spot, parking garage, but there are existing sidewalks that they're going to be maintaining and connecting to, and then also developing a underground pedestrian tunnel and what is now a steam tunnel, because people used to get power through steam, that will also help take hospital staff to the main campus. That pedestrian tunnel is not included in this SUP package, but it is worth knowing that is going to be coming down the pipeline, down the way when they are, continuing to work on the campus. So there's a condition, talking about those enhanced facade improvements. Those are going to be fully fleshed out during the building plans and permit phase. That's attached to the package that you see today. City staff, we recommended approval subject to conditions, and the CPC also recommended approval subject to conditions. And that concludes my staff report. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Anna. Very thorough, as you board members, any questions of Anna or staff? Paul, why should we, Paul, why should we approve your request today, sir?
Well, as you said, that was very thorough. Staff, Anna, and the rest of city staff have been exceptionally helpful, working with us through the variances, through the administrative approvals, and everything else. So we do appreciate that. I'll just highlight a couple technical drivers for this site. Adam and Matt can touch on some of the driving forces with staff and the construction, but this site obviously is right next to the existing garage they have, and it's south of the open lot that they have to bus people in from. This site has an odd amenity of this tunnel that used to serve the power plant that they're demolishing. So not only will the staff that park at this new garage be able to cross 600 or 700 feet underground to get clear to the hospital without any surface traffic interactions. Also, the people parking in the staff parking in the existing garage will be able to cross through a tunnel that they're using to connect it to and get to the hospital as well. So 2,000 or 2,500 parking staff members will be able to get to the hospital without ever being on a surface street. That was a very interesting driver for this site. The other reason that we're positioning the building where we are is, one, they're trying to hit a certain number of spaces. They know what they need now, and then they're projecting some into the future. There's a large regional storm culvert and a large regional sanitary line just to the east of our garage. And turning the garage or adjusting it another way would have a major impact on that. And we looked at making it taller and narrower, and you start getting into other issues there with just the feasibility and efficiency of the garage. So those were the technical driving forces for this site. Adam, if you'd like to talk a little about the impacts on staff and.
Sure. Yeah, that was all very thorough. I really appreciate that. I was going to say a lot more, but I don't have to, so I appreciate that. Parking is a constant conversation at Children's Mercy, as it is in a lot of places downtown. We're strictly doing this to enhance, parking for our employees. It's important for retention and recruitment to not have to be shuttled. This adds, primarily for our nurses, adds 20 minutes of time to get to and from the hospital, having to go down to the offsite parking. That parking is difficult to maintain from a security standpoint, surface parking down away from the hospital, putting a garage right across the street from our campus, well, on our campus, but right across the street from the hospital really will enhance that security. The proximity also is so much better, and the tunnel is a really big part of this so that our staff doesn't have to be out in the weather. They don't have to drive shuttles during inclement weather and deal with that. So it's really important for us. We make a promise to our employees all the time to try to do better for them, and parking is a big dissatisfier for them. The shuttles are a dissatisfier for them, and it's also more sustainable. We don't have to drive 10 shuttles back and forth all day, every single day. So, and again, we're just maximizing what we can put on that site, and that's what primarily why we're here. So the reasons are pretty obvious, but it's most cost effective for us, which is, I think, better for the community also.
Thank you, Adam. Matt, you want to say a few words?
Up here, yeah. I think I would just speak, I guess, to the team a little bit. McCarthy here, local to Kansas City, McClure, our design build trade partners from RS Electric, Metro Air, and Jayhawk Fire Protection, all here. The outliers that is predominantly Kansas City-based team is two renowned parking designers, architecture and structural that McCarthy has worked with across our national parking group. So bringing a great investment here, a great team for Children's Mercy. And I think between Anna and the others, I think they've hit everything that we would have mentioned. Just appreciate all the help along the way.
All right, great. Thank you. Are you going to use the old lot, Adam?
We have no plans for development
Okay.
at this time.
So
Will you still use it for parking though?
We're not planning to because
Okay.
we're displacing all of that with the new garage.
Right.
Okay.
It may be far in the future, but we're creating this. It has approximately 50% more parking than we use now for future development.
I liked the buses when I saw them back and forth. And there were a list of many conditions from CPC. Do you have any problem with those being part of your proposal?
We do not.
Okay, great. Board members?
Public testimony?
Yeah, public testimony. Anyone?
There is one hand raised online.
Sure.
Oh, no, this is our previous applicant.
Oh, they're ready to come back. I have a motion if there's no comment.
Yeah,
Ms. Otto?
I think it seems well thought out, and I appreciate working with staff to make it as close to the intent of the code as possible.
And I will just say that my sister is a retired nurse from Children's Mercy, and she worked at your south location, but she would visit down there, and she always commented to me that parking was kind of problematic. So she'd be happy about this, I think. So in case number 140, docket number 9, I move that the board grant this request in accordance with staff report and site plan.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Hayes. Please call the roll.
Lawrence.
Aye.
Otto.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Ebbets.
Aye. Good luck with your project. Thank you for all you do for Kansas City. Thank you.
Thank you.
We are ready to go back to docket items number 1 and 2.
Good. The lady leave.
Did she leave?
He's outside.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the neighbor,
Uh-huh.
she left, but she joined online.
Oh,
I
she's
believe.
online.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Then let's want to take
Yeah.
that. It's up to you guys. Do you guys
Yeah,
want a break?
let's go. Well, I don't, Everybody okay? Board members, staff?
Everybody say
good?
thumb up, go
Okay.
for it.
So going back to docket numbers 1 and 2,
Going back to docket numbers 1 and 2, Montika, if you would like to testify again on this case, you will need to accept the promotion to panelist in order to speak. Okay, so we have everyone back online.
Do you have Sean?
Yes, we have Sean, Montika, Sarah Ladd is still online. You would all like to turn your cameras back on. Okay, thank you.
so we've got everybody back. Everyone's kindly reminded you're still under oath. And what new proposal do you have for us, Sean?
I'll have Sarah's share her screen.
This will be exhibit number 10.
13.
I'm going to close my door real quick.
Did they send you a copy?
Sorry?
Did they send you a copy?
I do not have a copy yet.
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
send you the copy, Stephanie, sorry.
Okay. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
So this is the plot plans that we have with the measurements to scale on the plot plan. So based upon the feedback from Montika, we've actually expanded this gap 7 feet between the two driveways by reshaping them. And then also, how did we reduce the percentage, Sarah? What was the percent difference between the two lots now?
The one goes to 45.77% and the other goes to 49.75%.
Which one's the 45 and which one's the 49?
45 is lot 165 and 49 is lot 166.
Based upon the image, which one on the left? What's the percentage on the left?
This one is lot 166. Yes, lot 166.
And what's the percentage?
And that one is 49.75%.
And then can you repeat the left side? What was the percentage on that one?
This one is lot 165 and it's 45.77%.
Okay. So in response to the driveways being too close, there's a 7-foot gap between the two driveways. And then also we've cut the bends down so that the driveways are still accessible. And then to do a comparison, could you delete the green to show what it was previously proposed? So these green lines show that we moved it and then we added a few more, or not a few more feet, but we added additional space to create the 7-foot gap between the two. Can you put the green back, Sarah? So that's our proposal to create a better solution for the driveway variance percentages, which vary, what, 5% on the left and how much on the right?
Sarah?
The right would be 49.75% and the left is 45.77%.
So 6 and 9% variances is what we're asking for based upon the driveway percentage of coverage, which would then also allow for a more accessible driveway, prevent like a mud pit in the front yard is really the purpose behind our request, and adding additional parking to the cul-de-sac.
Does staff care how many decimal places we go out? No, okay. We can call it 46 and 50.
The lady who is here, Miss Alexander, are you online with us?
Yes, she is.
Yes, I'm here.
Your comments, ma'am?
I think that's a much nicer look than having those driveways touch, so or be so close. I'm okay with that.
Thank
For
you.
that.
And has this been admitted as an exhibit?
Yes, it was exhibit 13.
So what's the new numbers, just so staff agrees what they are?
So I have, and I noticed on the staff report, one of the case numbers is wrong, but On docket item 1, case 131, I have 46%. And docket item 2, case 132, I have 50%. And that's rounding up to the closest whole number.
Mr. Hayes, of course, that'd be a 6% and a 10% variance.
Correct. Yeah, a 6% increasing, but from 40% to 46, which is a 6% difference, and 40 to 50, 10%.
One of the variances before this was adjusted, I think, was already at 50. So I think we do want to keep it to that first decimal, just so it's more exact and they keep it at that and not expand.
Increase it, if you're trying to keep the 7 foot, you probably need those exact numbers.
Yeah.
So in addition to Exhibit 13, don't we need new plot plats? I mean, don't you want new documents
Yeah.
for both of those? I mean,
Yeah, so
so-
Sarah will email those to me so I can stamp them if approved to
right.
have in the case file.
And I guess the question is do we want to mark them in some way so they're a part of this file? I know we don't have them, but how are you going to make them a part of the file?
Sarah can email them
Okay.
and then we can mark it as Exhibit 13.
And in the motion, say
Yeah.
in accordance to the
That's what I'm saying. I think we need to be clear about this. This is a great diagram. It shows us and answers the question, but I think for the record to be clear and have the accuracy, I think you want 2 other plans. And so I would say Exhibit 13 would have this plot plan and then 2 other documents, right? Is that what you're talking about? Is that what you're wanting? You want 2 different documents, right? One for each house.
2 different site plans.
Right, we'll want Exhibit 13
Right.
that she's shown on the screen
Right.
to attach to this variance case. Then we will want an exhibit, a plot plan for each
But for the,
case.
Would it be
for the sake of the motion, we can refer to it as Exhibit 13 in both
Yeah.
cases.
Because you're going to attach it to this document.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I want to make sure. Because
Mr. Hayes, if you're so inclined, we're due each docket item will be separate. Thank you, sir.
I can do it.
And we would appreciate it if you would note that those need to be provided within, we would say 7 days.
Okay.
Sarah, are you okay with that? Sarah Ladd?
You're on
Sorry,
mute.
absolutely.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Hayes?
On docket item 1, case 131, I move that we grant the requested variance, modifying it to be 40, to reflect that it is a 46% of the front yard.
45.7.
5.77.
Oh,
Do you want some
sorry,
exact?
45.77% of the front yard coverage, in accordance to Exhibit 13 provided by the applicant and staff report?
New site plan coming in.
Yeah, in addition to.
Oh, and in addition to a condition that the new site plan is provided to staff within 7 days.
Good. I think that sounds good to me.
And those are going to be made a part of Exhibit 13. Okay.
True.
Okay, so I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I'll take Miss Wright. The second from Miss Wright, so motion.
Tom.
Oh, Tom, I'm sorry. Hey, Tom. So motion by Hayes, second by Gorens.
Gorens,
Aye.
Otto,
Aye.
Wright,
Aye.
Hayes,
Aye.
Ebbets.
Aye. That motion is approved. Mr. Hayes?
And the existing percentage on the second one is 50.3. Are we fine to keep that as is?
40, I think it was 49.7, the new proposed one.
49.7, okay. On docket item 2, case number 132, I move that we grant the requested variance, modifying the front yard surface area to be 49.7%. In accordance to staff report and the site plan provided in Exhibit 13, provided that the applicant provide an updated site plan to staff within 7 days.
Your motion? Mr. Hayes, do I have a second?
Aye. Let me second.
Second for Mr. Gorens?
Yeah.
Gorens,
Aye.
Otto,
Aye.
Wright,
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Ebbets.
Aye. Your project is approved. Good luck with it. And thanks again for coming, everyone before us today.
Thank you
Thanks,
for
guys.
the win resolution. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And we are back to docket item number 9.
Yep.
This Case CD BZA 2025-140. A request to approve a variance to the Boulevard and Parkway standards for the height of a fence in a B4-5 and R1.5 zoning district on about 1.312 acres generally located at 3435 Broadway Boulevard. The staff planner for this case is Alex Gustafson. If you are a member of the public who would like to speak on this case, please raise your hand online or approach the microphone on the podium to be sworn in.
We have any visitors in the virtual audience?
We have no hands raised online.
Great. Good morning. Please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth in this meeting today? If so, say I do or I don't, along with your name and address.
I do. Nick Baumgarten with Multi Studio, 4200 Pennsylvania Avenue, Caseymo.
Thank you, Nick. Are you speaking on this one? No. Yeah. Okay, good. No worries. Sir, there's a list of administrative exhibits associated with your case. They're numbered 1 to 9. Do you have any questions on those exhibits? And if not, do I have your permission to admit them?
I do not, and you can.
Thank you. Those are admitted. Part of that is a presentation by the gentleman to your left, Alec. Please tell us about it.
Okay, let me share my screen and we can get going. Okay. Here we have docket item 9, CDBZA 2025-140. This is at 3435 Broadway Boulevard. It's in a B4-5 zoning district, and it's a request to approve variances to the Boulevard and Parkway standards to approve fencing around the subject site. The subject site is along Broadway Boulevard on 34th Street. And here is our site plan, our site bordering West Armor Boulevard and Broadway Boulevard. So it's on 2 different boulevards. And within our Boulevard and Parkway standards, you need to be within 150 feet of the boulevards to be considered. All the regulations follow the Boulevard and Parkway standards. So it's a B4-5, it's along 2 boulevards, and this is our subject site. A little bit of relevant case information. The plans that were provided by the applicant show that the subject site of this variance, as well as a property within the R1.5 zone district to the east along Central Street. The variance case at hand is for only 3435 Broadway, as it's been advertised. A special exception case will need to be applied for the R1.5 zoned property. They just compiled the full site plan package because they want to fence the whole area eventually. But since we only advertised the 3435 Broadway Boulevard address, that's the subject site for this property, even though the site plans show otherwise. So before we get into it a little bit, I want to go through the Boulevard and Parkway standards and their applicability. So it applies to all development adjacent to and within 150 feet of boulevard or parkways as classified by the Boulevard and Parkway system. The standards apply, however, only to that portion of the adjacent property located within the 150 feet of the Boulevard or Parkway. I say that because originally when we had our pre-application meeting, we discussed the possibility of combining these 2 lots so that they could build fence throughout, both lots. Even if they had combined both lots, the Boulevard and Parkway standards would only apply to the property that's within that 150 feet, meaning it would only apply to this subject property anyway. So I just wanted to make that clear that we're just looking at this property. I also wanted to go through the landscaping and screening and just show you the code that is referenced throughout this staff report and throughout the presentation. as for what we are holding these variances against in the Boulevard and Parkway standards. The main thing to point out here is the maximum height shall be 6 feet in the rear and 4 feet in the side. No fencing shall extend beyond the front building line. And the fencing must be of steel, iron, concrete, stucco, stone, brick, or any other acceptable material. Wood picket or stockade fencing is not permitted, and chain link fencing is not permitted, except for the enclosure of a public playfield or a school playfield. This is the rendering that was provided in the site plans. And then here is the site plan. They have very nicely laid out where they want to put the fence and color coded it. So what you see along the red on Broadway Boulevard and Armour Boulevard is wrought iron fencing to be 8 feet tall along the side yard and the front yard. And then you see on the east side of the lot, you see chain link fencing 8 foot tall. And then along the property that is not to be discussed in this exact variance case, you see wood fencing along the playfield on the east side on the Central Avenue address. This is their landscape plan. I just, pulled their plant list so that you could see that as well. But there's a good amount of landscaping on the site, which I believe helps with screening to make the site more approachable and make the streetscape nicer along Broadway Boulevard. And then here's where I will kind of lay out where our variances are. So variance A is what we have in yellow, and that's a variance to the to fencing in the side yard that's taller than 4 feet. Variance B is for fencing along the front property line, and then variance C and D is the fencing along the east side. And I will mention the north fence that you see, the blue dashed line, that fence is actually not on the property. It's an already existing fence. So that is not something that we're considering looking at variance-wise. The variance A is if we look at 88-323-02D, which is Boulevard and Parkway standards, which we looked at previously, the maximum height shall be 6 feet in the rear. We're not looking at that. We're looking at the maximum height shall be 4 feet in the side yard. The proposal from the applicant is 8 feet raw iron in the side yard of the subject site. So that makes it a 4-foot variance for fencing in the side yard. So variance A, a variance of 4 feet to the Boulevard and Parkway standards to permit an 8-foot metal fence in the side yard of the subject site per approved site plan. This is a 4-foot variation, 100% change. A substantial change to the character of the neighborhood is anticipated since there are no other 8-foot fences in the direct vicinity of the subject site along Broadway. And that's just per parcel viewer spot checking and Google Street View. The difficulty could be avoided by a change in design, making the fence smaller and providing taller landscaping to further screen the property. And that will be your variance A. Variance B is when we look at 88-323-02D again, I pulled out that sentence that says no fencing shall extend beyond the front building line. When we look at measuring building lines or discussing what is the front yard, typically it's the shorter of the frontages. So the shorter frontage is the Armour Boulevard frontage, making it so that that would be the front of the building. From that property line to the building is the front yard, making it so that this fencing that's within this green box basically is within the front building line, beyond the front building line. So what the applicant is proposing is 8-foot wrought iron fencing and a small portion of chain link fencing in the front yard of the subject site. So with that, this variance is a complete deviation to the Boulevard and Parkway standards to permit an 8-foot metal fence in the front yard beyond the front building line of the subject site per approved site plan. It's a complete deviation. Substantial change to the character of the neighborhood would be anticipated since there are no other 8-foot fences that extend beyond the front building line in the direct vicinity of the subject site along Broadway, just per my parcel viewer spot checking and Google Street View. The difficulty could be obviated by a change of design, constructing the fence to stop it before it extends into the front yard. Variance request C and D. This is where we talk about the side yard again. So fencing can't be taller than 4 feet in the side yard, and chain link fencing is not permitted except for when you're enclosing a public playfield or a school playfield. The proposal is that an 8-foot chain link fence in the side yard of the subject site. So variance C is just for the height, since they're requesting an 8-foot fence. It's a variance of 4 feet to the Boulevard and Parkway standards to permit an 8-foot tall chain link fence enclosing a parking lot on the subject site. Again, it's a 4-foot difference. So a substantial change to the character of the neighborhood would be anticipated. Again, there are no other 8-foot chain link fences within the direct vicinity of the subject site on Broadway. The difficulty could again be obviated by change in design, changing the fencing material to be shorter and potentially changing the material to be wrought iron or another steel, concrete, stone, brick, all those other types that are approved per 88323. And then variance request D is a complete deviation to permit an 8-foot tall chain link fence. This is simply just because it's a chain link fence where it specifically says chain link is not permitted unless it's around a school playfield or a public playfield. This chain link fence is, as you saw, along parking area, so it would not meet that exception. So it's a complete deviation. A substantial change to the character of the neighborhood would be anticipated. And there are some chain link fences in the direct vicinity of the subject site per parcel viewer and Google Street View, but this does not necessarily mean that the Board of Zoning Adjustment should uphold a non-conforming neighborhood characteristic. So there are plenty of chain link fences along Broadway Boulevard. I was not able to find out if all of those were permitted legally or if they had permits or if they got variances. But the Boulevard and Parkway standards are pretty clear that chain link fences are not permitted within 150 feet of a boulevard or parkway. And so that would be why we have a complete deviation, and it would be considered a substantial change to the character of the neighborhood, even though there are other chain link fences in the area. The difficulty could be avoided by a change in design, changing the fencing material to be shorter, changing the material to be wrought iron, and any of those other metal fence types that the Boulevard and Parkway standard permits. With that, that concludes my presentation. I can answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Alec. Board members? So the wood fence, Alec, that he's thinking about is going to be on the east side of the building?
The wood fence is on the north, and it's not on the property itself.
That's the piece that we're not addressing today.
Okay, all right.
This is all
Just-
wrought iron or chain link.
Yes.
Right. All right, any other questions? Nick, why should we approve your request today?
Yeah, so a couple clarifications just for context. This is an office building that was converted into a school. And so there was a lot of effort that's being put into trying to take a space that was really just a building and parking lot and try and give play space for the kids in the school. So that's a big effort that's happening and under construction right now. The fence is just a enclosure around a lot of that space to help protect the kids on that space. Now, the actual selection of fence types and design was very intentionally done to respect the boulevard standards and experience, and some of the renders can reflect that. There is the combination of wrought iron, there's brick, there's lots of planting done to help foliate that and make it a more enjoyable experience for pedestrians walking by it. The chain link is limited to non-adjacent pedestrian space going between those properties, and that's just simply to help offset some of the costs of the higher iron fence and brick and landscaping that we're doing on the other sides of it. The why to pass is the 4-foot really doesn't provide enough of a privacy and security for the kids in the playground, and also the offset from the on the front face of the property allows us to connect both sides of the building and both sides of the lot to give more area for teachers to be able to monitor kids playing outside in the playground and in that lawn space on the Broadway side of the school.
Garden, what's the age of the children at this planned location?
K through 8, I believe.
And how many students will be attending there?
I don't have those numbers on hand, but there's 4, 5, 6. There's about 10 classrooms. And the whole permitting process of that has gone through, and I don't have that information on me right now.
But fairly young children will
Yes,
be
yes.
attending school here.
Yes.
Okay. And there's another school location in this area, right? Is there a high school over there somewhere? Am I thinking about that right? Is there adjacent
so.
school there too?
Yeah. I think there's one across the street.
That's what I'm
maybe.
remembering.
Yeah.
I'm trying to picture this corner in my mind. So I think there's already another school there, isn't there? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the wrought iron.
I guess a technical question of staff, and is the reason that this is a variance instead of a special exception because it's specifically laid out in the Parkway and Boulevard standards?
Yes, it's because it's in the Boulevard and Parkway standards. It's a variance.
Is
Any
there-
other questions?
Is there any online testimony?
Any online testimony that you see, Sarah?
No, there's no one online.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I would make a motion then. In docket number 9, case number 140, I move that the board grant the requested variances in accord with the staff report and site plan.
I have a motion by Ms. Otto. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Gorens.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Otto,
Aye.
Wright,
Aye.
Hayes,
Aye.
Ebbets.
Aye. Your project is approved. Good luck with it, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do one more.
Yep, one more.
Docket item number 10 is case CD SUP 2025-18, a request to approve a special use permit in District R6 on about 0.125 acres, generally located at 4843 Woodland, to allow for neighborhood serving retail in an existing building. Matthew Barnes is the staff planner for this case. If you're a member of the public who would like to speak on this case, please approach the microphone on the podium or raise your hand online to be sworn in. And we have no hands raised online.
Pendleton, I assume?
Yes, sir.
Hi, good morning to you. Please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth in this meeting today? If so, say I do or I don't, along with your name and address.
I do. Robert Pendleton, 808 West 29th Street, Kansas City, Missouri, 64108.
Great, thank you. There are a list of administrative exhibits, Mr. Pendleton, that are labeled number 1 to 9. Do you have any problems with us? Wait, I'm not. Say 1 to 3. Matt, am I missing something? I don't see the 1 through 9. Thank you. That are associated with your case. Do you have any problem with us submitting those?
Oh, no, that's
Yeah,
fine.
that's great. Part of that, those are admitted. Part of that is some presentation by Mr. Barnes.
Okay, good morning still. Matthew Barnes, City Planning and Development with docket item number 10, which is special use permit for 4843 Woodland, neighborhood serving retail. That's the wrong site plan. This site is located just east of Paseo High School. You can see MLK Boulevard to the north, 71 to the northeast, Bruce Watkins, and the Paseo there on the west side of the screen. The subject site is highlighted in yellow at the northeast corner of Woodland and East 49th Street. Here's just a view of that site as it sits today. It's an existing building which has historically been, if the tax photos from the 40s show as a retail store. It's most recently was a religious assembly. And here's the other street view looking east from Woodland Drive. You can see that the windows have been covered. There's some tagging on it as well, and it's not currently occupied. And there is on the north side of the parcel a gravel or a parking lot that has been paved. The applicant is proposing to repave it and restripe it. And here's that site plan. So 2 spaces A and B, and the parking lot repaved, restriped, a trash dumpster enclosure against that back wall, and an ADA spot there at the towards Woodland Avenue. They are providing, since there are existing street trees, some additional planters along the facade to add some additional landscaping on site. And here's just the views renderings. They're opening up the windows, adding new doors, and just fixing up the facade. So the permitted uses on the special use permit would be religious assembly, artist work, sales space, eating and drinking established that excludes tavern or nightclub, food and beverage retail sales, excluding a liquor store, office administrative, professional or general, office medical, excludes blood or plasma center, personal improvement services, those are like hair salons, etc., yoga studios, and retail sales, and then that excludes tobacco and vape stores. They are requesting a variance of 1 parking space for retail sales, which is the most likely use. It would require 6 spots on there. With that ADA space and the screen dumpster, there are only 5 parking spaces are proposed on the site. There is on-street parking on East 49th Street. There is no on-street parking on Woodland. And if they were to come in with a use that is heavier and requires more parking, additional variances may be required, or alternative compliance parking. And this special use permit is proposed for a 3-year renewal. With that, the City Plan Commission recommended approval with conditions, and I can take any questions.
Any questions of Mr. Barnes? All right. Mr. Pendleton, why should we grant your request today?
I think it's pretty cut and dry. I mean, it's bringing retail space back to an area that doesn't really have any, and it was built to be retail space in the first place. I mean, it's zoned R6 right now, and I don't know how that happened in the first place. So I think we're just bringing it back to what it should be.
What's your intended use?
I mean, I'm an investor, so I mean, I'll redevelop it. I'm trying to bring it back to probably 2 spaces, whereas originally 3. Ideally, I see like a salon in the bigger area and some kind of professional use office space in the other. I've been kind of holding off to do anything because I can't really until I get this figured out. But I'm trying to do something with Paseo High School across the street too, because they've got some. I've been talking with them about potentially doing some co-op type stuff with the high school. So I think it would be really good for the community, and I don't know. That's about it.
Okay.
Well, it was a religious assembly, but I mean, it's been taking water for has to be the last 3 or 4 years at least, because I mean, the entire east side of the building, it's got those really cool like tin ceilings inside, and probably the back 20% on the east side is all, rusted through just from water coming in. So, I mean, it's just taking more water while we've been doing this. So I've got a roofer that's just waiting to put a roof on it.
Yeah, was there any audience participation? Sarah, do you see anybody?
There are no hands raised.
Great, thank you for that. Board members? Questions, comments, and or a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Hayes.
On docket item 10, case 18, I move that we grant the requested special use permits and the related variances in accordance with site plan staff report.
I have a motion for Mr. Oh, sorry.
And conditions therein.
Thank you for the conditions therein. Thank you. I have a motion from Mr. Hayes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Ms. Wright.
Gorence,
Aye.
Otto,
Aye.
Wright,
Aye.
Hayes,
Aye.
Evans.
Aye. Project is approved. Good luck with it. Look forward to
Thank you.
seeing something down there.
Thank you.
Thank you. With that, any other business?
Yes. We would like for you to let us know if you would like to take a summer break in 2026. Now that the weather's getting colder, if you would like to think about your summer vacation.
I looked over the report here, and based off of the CPC date, I think it would make the most sense on that July 2nd date.
What about the Novembers?
At your last meeting, you gave us direction to move your November 11th meeting to November 10th. Tuesday, November 10th, City Hall is closed on November 11th for Veterans Day. That's not reflected in this draft calendar, but we will be doing that. So the outstanding questions are if you would like to cancel a summer meeting, and we just want to confirm that we should cancel the second meetings in November and December because those are the day before Thanksgiving and then the 2 days before Christmas.
I like that. So do we vote on that, Sarah, or do we just say, okay?
Well, first tell me about summer.
I got the date wrong. I said July 2nd. I'm in July 8th. That would be because if CPC is canceled, we're probably not going to have much of a docket anyway, right?
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
Well, not all of your yeah,
Yeah.
variances don't go through CPC. They're entirely separate. So I don't.
Well, and with the timing of the World Cup.
And to your question, Chair, I don't think you need a vote, but as long as there's no opposition. But if someone opposes it, then you probably need a motion.
We always in the past took those days off, that day off in August, and that because that kind of fell kind of with people's construction schedules more, contractors start to plan things, and August they're slowing down planning projects because of the cold. That's why we never took it off in July. I'm just sharing that. But if the parties feel differently, that was just the reason for that in the past.
I think they're worried about World Cup during
Yeah,
that time.
and if that's the case, there's a reason to do it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's why we always did it in the past. I'm just offering that for your consideration. So,
2027.
so if you want to do it in July, that's fine. I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't have a strong feeling.
I don't feel strongly one way or the other. I just thought it would make sense lined up with the CPC and the World Cup. I agree.
So Sarah, I think you have your directions.
So cancel July 8th.
Right.
November will be November 10th, which is a Tuesday. We will not have a second meeting in November and December. Okay, wonderful.
I agree.
Thank you. If you could be sure to mark that on your calendar for November 10th of 2026.
Do you guys send out a calendar invite? Let's do that, don't we?
Yes.
All right. With that in mind, the meeting is adjourned at 11:25. Recording stop. Good. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Just in here.
Man, how are you?
Oh, did you? Oh, no.
That's probably bad.